Hey everybody, Jason here. I hope you're all doing marvelous. So today I'm going to be looking at an iPhone 11 that I posted a video on about a month ago. This is a phone that arrived without the shields, without the screws, and it had a note hook to it that the customer would like it returned to them open, and I wasn't exactly sure why. Well, as it turns out, they were just trying to lessen my workload, which I really appreciate that. When it comes to sending a phone back disassembled after I've repaired it, I really don't like doing that because there are thousands of things that can go wrong. And okay, maybe not thousands, but maybe millions. This thing originally arrived to where it was just completely flat dead. It had a VDD main short. The motherboard was dead. Well, the customer got it back. After they put it back together, it just intermittently and randomly just like powers itself off. The guy kind of feels like putting any pressure on the phone at all is causing it to turn off. I think one of the messages even said like dropping it on the table a little bit is causing it to turn off. So I really like to give people the benefit of the doubt, but to be really completely honest, when stuff like this happens, 9 times out of 10, it winds up being something that the customer has done. And I got a big heart. This guy's one of the nicest people in the world. No offense here for me saying that, but honestly, it is almost always the customer's fault. So what I suspect here is that this thing has something going on with the battery connector. I suspect possibly long screw damage. It may just be a bad battery or something. This thing, he's been using it, it works, but little bits of pressure and stuff causes it to shut off. So I've actually not looked at this phone yet. So I'm gonna start by slicing the tape off of it that's been put on here for shipping. And if you'd like, let's have a look at it together, shall we? Let's find out what happened to this phone. Okie dokie. So here this thing is coming out of the box. And you know, it's possible that I could be wrong. This could be something related to my repair that's causing it to shut off. I can see we've had a screen protector added here. And you know, I don't remember. This may have all actually been there before the last repair. So here's what the phone looks like as it was received and as it is now. I'm looking for any bends or any other crazy kind of shenanigans. So before doing anything else to this phone, it's going to be a good idea to go ahead and see what the behavior is right at this second before I make any changes at all. This will actually tell us a lot. If it has a smashed battery connector or maybe even a bad battery, then we could get some wonky readings right here on the current meter. So I'm going to connect a charger. I'm sitting at 80 milliamps of charging current, 200 milliamps of charging current, 400. We have an Apple logo. We are at 700 milliamps of charging current and flat. I'm going to turn this screen sort of away in case there's anything on there. I don't want to have to blur it. All right, so now we're drawing 1 amp of charging current. And it's sort of bouncing between 700 milliamps and 900 milliamps. So that's actually acceptable charging current. And then the phone itself, it's showing 50% battery. Did he remove the... Okay. This is a guy I was very clear with. If we're going to proceed, I would definitely need the passcode. Just a phone in the mail. I just reached a point where I don't have the passcode. Ooh, look here. Charging current is dropped down to 50, half an amp. 400 milliamps, 300. Charging current's wonky. I think we got a smashed up battery connector. What if I squeeze this thing? I put a little bit of pressure on the phone, 80 milliamps, let go. I think it's rebooting. Dun 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 dun. Nope, it's still on. Okay, little pressure on the phone. Charging current just bombs off. As soon as I squeeze the phone a little bit, let me show you a little closer. So here we are. We're at roughly a half an amp of charging current. And I'm going to squeeze the phone right here. Boom. Drops straight off. 40 milliamps, 20 milliamps, 10 milliamps, 0 milliamps. It stopped charging completely. And after I let go of the phone, it's jumped right back up and it starts drawing more charging current. So, okay, I've seen the phone start up and run. I've seen that it has a problem that I can reproduce without having the passcode. I would like to check the logs and stuff to see what's going on, but I'm gonna go ahead and proceed then without a passcode. Let's get the pentalobe screws out of it, pop it open and see what in the world is going on here. Oh, boy, that sure makes me nervous. This is the Refox RS50. I'd actually love this tool. Use it every day. So we'll just clampolate that in there and then gradually start tugging on it. Since this phone has not been sealed, it should come open really easy. I want to be careful that I'm not pulling the screen itself apart though. Okay. Now, if this is a factory sealed phone, it's really important to heat it up first, but I know this phone has been apart time and time again, so I'm not worrying too much about heating it up before taking it apart. The latches at the top to come loose. Latch on the other side. So this all actually looks pretty good. Let's see if I can find anything cringy going on. I'm just going to go ahead and take out all the screws on these brackets, and hopefully we don't have any really long ones in here. I don't think on the iPhone 11, I don't think we've got any real gotchas here. It's not like previous models where they give you one long screw. They'll give you a whole plate full of screws and they include one long one. And as long as that long one goes back into the right spot, everybody's happy. But if you put that long screw in any one of the wrong holes, it is bad, bad news. I do suspect possibly a battery data issue, although the charging current on this dropping all the way off to like nothing, that's really bad. If it was just battery data, I would expect it to be low charging current and not necessarily just absolutely nothing. Ooh, that popped. Maybe the battery connector. Let's go after the battery connector first. Let's do the simple things first. I mean, it is possible that me heating this board up and working on it the way I did, maybe I messed something up. Or maybe, just maybe, this phone had an underlying charging issue to begin with, and the main short was actually secondary. So let's get this under the microscope and see what it looks like, shall we? So going directly after that battery connector, which is going to be right here, what does this look like? There definitely could be some battery data issues going on there, but it's not near as bad as what I thought. The connector itself, it looks like, that looks okay. That looks like it should be keeping a connection on the positive and negative. And the data pins, that one of those data pins is recessed. That may actually be all that this is. It's losing battery data. You move the phone a tiny bit, it's losing data. Could also still be a bad battery. This pin here, it's inside of the plastic by just a smidge. And this one here is actually okay. Let me just hit those with a multimeter to make sure we're getting around a 0.7 in diode mode. So in diode mode, I'm doing red probe on ground, black probe doing the probing, and I'm just going to check these battery data pins. The first one we're getting a 0.35, didn't I just say 0.7? It's getting a 0.35, and then the other one is getting a 0.35, so I guess I'm probably more than likely just confused. So I'm going to consider that to be normal battery data readings, and I'm going to take and stretch out these pins just a smidgen. It could just be possible that there is a cold solder joint somewhere on this board that's causing this behavior. It does seem to mess up just as soon as I squeeze it on top of the board, but it's acting like battery data. And this is going to cause me to need the passcode. See, with the passcode, I can go in and use 3U tools or any other utility that can read the battery health. And if you go and look at that, it'll say no data. All right, here we go. Let's just stretch these out a little bit. Yeah, if these pins aren't making connection, the battery health on 3U tools, it will show no data. All right, so let's just stop right there. All I've done was pull those pins back out. And let me say this, I do that anyways before shipping these phones out because I know that this is a problem. All right, so the battery data pins have been stretched. Now I'm going to hook this thing back up to a charger. 80, 300, 500, 970 milli big ones. We are drawing 1 amp of charging current. Now with this open, I can be a little more choosy about where I'm going to squeeze a late on it. So I know it's up and running because I feel it vibrate when the charger's connected, and also we've got a charge connect tone, and it's sitting there drawing a steady 800 milliamps charging current. Now I'm going to just kind of squeeze the board a little bit. Nothing's happening. Nothing is happening. Easy fix. And a honest customer. This is something, we're not robots, okay? Sometimes when you plug these connectors on, you feel around and you push on it a little bit. The battery data pins, they just got recessed back up inside here a little bit. No harm done. The charging current is remaining steady. I'm going to bend the whole phone a little bit, little flexi poo here. We're still remaining completely steady, and oops, got my glove stuck inside his phone. That is most likely going to be all that was wrong with this phone. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and install a new gasket on this, get this thing ready to fully reassemble. I'll stretch those battery data pins out one more time, fully reassemble the phone, and then we'll test it and see if it still has the same problem. Now, if that's all it took to fix it, I'm going to give this thing a good long while before I ship this back to the customer, because I don't want him to have trouble once he gets this back. So this customer is going to be really glad to know that this was a very straightforward repair. All right, so there you have it. I have all of the screws put back in it. I have a brand spanking new adhesive gasket installed on it. And before installing that battery plate, I went ahead and stretched those battery data pins back in one more time to make sure they're sticking out where they need to be. And let's close this thing up now and see if it misbehaves. Little snap, crackle, pop. That's good. Yeah, this guy said at one time, you know, when he was putting the screws back in it, I think that's one of the times it shut off. So I don't know, he had sort of narrowed it down to where he knew that it was a pressure thing. So it's back up and running. I'm showing 54% battery. And now I'm curious to see if we get stable charging current here while I squeeze the phone. So top line is voltage, bottom line is current. Can you see that? So here we go, charger connect. 750 milliamps. Now also, I'm used to the charging current on this setup being a little low because I'm feeding it on a 500-foot 5-volt cable, so Ohm's law just does not permit us to draw a decent charging current. So now I'm going to do some squeezing on it. Still holding 750 milliamps, a little twisty, twist, twist, twist. Still 750. That is most likely going to have this solved. This was just a simple battery data pin issue. There's really no way to fix that without a microscope. So if you're having this symptom and you try to just get in there and stretch those pins back out, I guess if you had a magnifying glass and you did like a really, if you could get to where you can see what you're doing, to where you only get that pin, then you can probably do it without a microscope. Otherwise, if you just get in there with a blade and like say, oh, it's in there somewhere, and you get in there and you jab around the connector, and like you will completely destroy the connector. So gosh, I'm really, really glad that this was not a long screw damaged issue, because that's a disastrous situation. And back in the iPhone 6 Plus touch failure days, it almost caused me to stop taking in board only, because so so many times I would send motherboard only back to people and they're like, hey, we sent it to you for touch failure and got it back, but now it doesn't turn on at all. Or, hey, we got it back and I can hear it turning on, but there's no picture on the screen and it won't light up the screen. So many times people long screw damage those boards, but no, this is a very, very simple problem. And I'm just, gosh, to the guy that sent this back here, I'm just really thankful that I'm going to be able to give you good news. I mean, this is, come on, bring it in here. Come on. Come on. Your phone's going to be okay. Yeah, you're fine. Your phone's going to be fine. So there you have it, everybody. That is a really straightforward fix for what could have been a really ugly, nasty problem. And you got to believe me when I say it. I'm really, really happy for that. I get to give the customer good news, and this phone gets to live. I am going to go ahead. I'm going to make sure the charging current remains stable. I'm going to make sure we don't get any crazy reboots. I'm going to make sure the battery charges full. And also, this guy had included a case that he wanted me to put the phone back in to make sure once it was in the case, it didn't restart. So this is somebody who had really narrowed it down to pressure on the phone that was causing, triggering the issues. Hopefully I'll be able to get the passcode because I'd really, really like to see what the battery data is showing. And also I'd really like to see what the logs are showing for why it was restarting whenever he had it. And yeah, there you have it. A successful repair, a very easy one, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good day, everybody. Thanks for watching.